we are going to talk about the mission of our guest Louise in the UK, what she has been up to. Whenever she is here, it is easy for us to compare two types of breast cancer in relation to location. Okay, so this is something you don't want to miss.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for having me, Diana. Yay. It's been so long, isn't it? But so much has happened. It's just like this whirlwind of stuff that's going on. It's amazing. So yeah, I was diagnosed in 2022 with lobular breast cancer, and it was in my left side, and I had that off, and then I asked to take the other side off because I couldn't handle having one breast. So I had a double mastectomy 2 years ago, and I was training to run in a marathon, and I ran the marathon 6 weeks after I had the mastectomy. And since then, I just keep doing these marathons and running. And the last one I did in London, I did it topless.
Yes, I saw all that, and I've seen all these awards that you've won. And even before we go, because you have to tell us about these awards, and you have to tell us about the Guinness Book of Records, because yes, I did all that.
I got it on the wall. I'll show it you. So yeah, so I thought, wow. So we discussed, didn't we, about flat closure surgery and how a lot of people don't like seeing it and hide it and all this. And we're all about, let's get it out there, aren't we, Diana? And I thought, what better way than running topless, because I feel really free when I'm running. And it also opens up discussion for people seeing me doing this. And then I thought I need a bigger platform, and that's where the London Marathon came in, because you can't get bigger than that, can you, really? I mean, that's one of the biggest marathons in the world.
Wow, yes.
So I thought I'll do that, and I did that in April this year, and I was the first woman in the world ever to run it topless. And I got the Guinness World Record for running it. I got obviously the medal, and it just went viral and then it brought up more discussions, more awareness, it's sort of provocative, wasn't it? It was provocative in the fact that it sort of sent these messages that women don't necessarily want to cover or hide. And I think as well, it makes us realize that we can be strong, powerful, advocates, all these things without breasts.
Yes.
So that was the messages I was given. It was like, you're running a marathon, and that's challenging the whole sort of what I felt when I got cancer, pity, and I've lost my femininity, which I didn't think I'd lost, the sadness of it, the running and the strength and all that sort of empowerment was just blasting away all that negativity.
Yes, and tell me something, Louise. It raised discussions, which of course it has to. What was the mix in terms of positivity and negativity? What types of questions or concerns were you seeing when you did that in relation to the topic of losing our femininity, or people thinking this is ugly, why are you showing it? What kind of reactions were these that you were receiving?
Well, on the day when I ran, it was really, really positive, because it had been on the national news that I was going to do it. So everybody, well, not everyone, but quite a few people there knew I was going to run. So I had women bursting into tears because it was empowering, screaming my name. Oh my God. And then when I finished, I got all these messages. I saw you in the London Marathon, but it also opened up like the discussions, like men. My wife's going through this at the moment. You are inspiring her, not only in, I mean, it could be in exercise or running, but in the fact that I don't want to hide this. I don't feel embarrassed. I get messages now from men who are saying that women who've had this done feel ugly or deformed, and the videos that I do with the running helps them feel like they're not on their own. And the fact that I'm showing joy with it, that it's not, to me now it's natural and normal, you know, that they can see that they could get there eventually, because you know yourself, it takes time, doesn't it?
Time, it takes time, yes, yes. And that's what I feel also here. Whenever I come live, I feel normal. I don't even feel like there's anything abnormal in me. And many of the comments I get, especially on my videos that I post, yesterday somebody tried to pull down my live, reporting I'd say, don't even waste your time. They can't pull me down because they tried that in the past, and I spoke to TikTok and they can't pull me down. So there's always this group of people that hate how we have embraced our new selves, because we are still women, we are still beautiful women. And I'm thinking, and I don't know what you think about it, I'm thinking the people who are against what they see in us are people who have their own battles to fight. And I call it the stigma. They're battling with the stigma that they have, and they can't let it go. Well, what do you think?
That is true. I always feel that if I get that kind of feedback, it's through their thoughts, it's through what they've been brought up with, or the environment that they've had. Because I've got to admit, before I had breast cancer, I wouldn't have thought that way, but I would have found it quite hard to look at. But then you sort of question why that is, and a lot of the questions could be fear. It could be a fear-driven sort of thought that, oh my God, I don't want to look like that, it might happen to me. Because as you know, when you have this, you do go through that grieving process, and we're at the other end of that now, whereas people who maybe see us haven't been through that, so they can't really ever imagine themselves with no breasts. So I kind of know that they're coming from that place. So I have empathy for that. But I also have so much empathy for the women who are where we are or aren't where we are with the feeling good about ourselves, because so many women aren't. And that's why I do, and I'm sure that's why you do what we do, because it's about the fact that once you learn to accept it, you can be happy in your body.
Yes. And what would your advice be to someone who really wishes they could accept it, but they don't know the process to that? What was your process of moving to accepting who we are?
Yeah, it is a process. It takes quite a lot of time. It's not something that just clicks. So my process was that I imagined it as simple, sort of black and white, that the breast was diseased, the disease was taken away, the scars are the healthy part of me, and they are the parts that saved my life. They are not to be covered or hidden. They are to be respected. So I kind of look at them like respectfully. And also I felt that, and a lot of the messages I get off women are about, oh, when I had breasts, looking back on what they were, I felt I had to become something else. So I was me, but I got bigger, better and stronger at something. So that was for me running. So I started running marathons, and I was like, well, I'd never run a marathon when I had boobs. I'd done running, but I hadn't done a marathon. And now I run marathons, and I've always ran marathons without breasts. And I've become stronger in my body and stronger in my mind. So it's kind of like trying to become something better than you were before when you had them. So you're not constantly looking back at what you were. That's how I learned to accept.
We are about to get into something deeper with Louise regarding the lobular carcinoma. And this is a topic that I want people to listen to. So let us work as a team. We are a team. Tap the screens and share. Call in more people, because that is the difference we are going to get between lumps and no lumps. Okay? So it's important. Now, Louise, from what you've said, for me, again, it was the same. But for me, I try to fight the societal belief. There's a belief that a woman's beauty lies in the breast. That when you take out that breast, that beauty is gone. That is something I hate to deal with every day. and to try and instill it in the minds of especially women who have lost breast or are about to lose it and are fighting the mastectomy that needs to be done on them because doctors have said this is the best. Do not go for lumpectomy. Where it has reached the grade, the stage, the size, a mastectomy is needed. But they're fighting it because the beauty, the society. And they cannot afford, or their insurance cannot pay for their reconstruction. You know, that is the beauty definition that made me even come to this point, because after going into the surgery, I had prepared my mind. And I would say that for me, by the time I was going in, is where I battled. I battled between lumpectomy, which was suggested, and mastectomy. And I had to roll it in my mind and train myself. And therapy helped me even after that, going into counseling and accepting and saying, look, I look at myself in the mirror. I don't see any beauty lost, because beauty is a lot of things. And I am beautiful. And I don't believe in people who tell me, oh, you have inner beauty. No, I have both inner and outer beauty. So don't say that because the breast is gone, now my beauty is defined by inner beauty. I see that and I rebuke it and I refuse. That is another societal belief that without breast, the outer beauty is gone. The inner beauty is what we can talk about. No, you don't define me by inner beauty. I am both physically outside beauty and that inner beauty that they define, you know. And so I had to deal with that in my mind through self-reflection and redefining the beauty in my mind from what I grew up in, seeing models walking on the stage, you know, they had to look at their body structure and all that. And then counseling also helped me. So the self-reflection and counseling, as you said, it took time. It took time. Yeah. And then to get myself to come out like this took the death of a woman who refused to have mastectomy. You know, because I would come out and educate people normally and talk and put a post. And until Aline died, and I remember four days to her death, the words still ring. And I keep mentioning, she said, Diana, I wish I knew you before. I wish I knew you before. Because if she knew me before, I would have convinced her, I believe, to go for mastectomy. You know, and that's why I find those two things. The people who sell the herbs, the fake herbs, and tell people don't go for cancer treatment, drink this and you'll be fine. And the people who drum it in our minds that beauty is in the breast. So those are the two things that Aline suffered from and she passed away. And when she passed away, I said, like you said, you were training for marathon and then you said, you know what, I am going on with this. When Aline passed away, I said, enough. I am off this, because already by that time I knew I am beautiful. There's nothing that I'm not beautiful because I don't have a breast, and that was fine. So the only thing that remained was throwing off that top, taking out that shirt, and coming out here. And like you say, Louise, the messages that come in, people don't know the messages we read in our inbox. The husbands, the spouses that come in and say, my partner, my wife. And the women, there's one who told me, I am going to tell my doctor that I changed my mind. Because the doctor said, please, you need mastectomy. And they say, no, I can't stay without my breast because I can't afford reconstruction. And now they were going to tell their breasts, you know what? Yes, take them out. Just because they saw Candiddiana on live. So thank you so much for what you do, Louise. I am so proud of you. And I know at the end of this session, you are going to show us those trophies. You are going to show us Guinness, whatever. I have to see how that Guinness thing looks like, you know, and I have to scream. So now, before we see those awards that Louise is doing, and guys, by the way, I toyed it and I threw it to Louise that we should organize a marathon in Kenya for October next year. Guys, I'm very serious about it. And we are going to bring this world famous Guinness record breaker to Kenya to run marathon with all the flat and fabulous women. And then we are going to raise that topic. And I believe we are going
Yeah.
to be on our TV station, our radio station, discussing it before it happens and after it happens. That is how serious it is to me, you know. And now,
Oh my God, that would be unbelievable. Oh, I'm so up for that, Diana. So up for that. You are amazing. I can't believe how amazing you are. What you've done, it's unbelievable. Brilliant.
Yes, we are a team, and every time I make reference to you, guys, look for my friend in the UK. Go see everything she's doing. That is what I keep talking about you, because you are amazing. Now, getting back to the breast cancer and types, and I keep telling people whenever they ask, what are the symptoms? What are your symptoms? What are the general symptoms? I tell them, there's no general symptoms to everybody. These symptoms are different. The symptoms of breast cancer are different by you know, grade, stage, and all those. But most of these symptoms, the main outstanding, you know, signs that you could see come with the difference of location. And the difference of location is what brings ductal carcinoma and lobular carcinoma. And so even as we sit here to speak to these guys on this topic, I was a ductal, and Louise, my friend, was a lobular. And whenever people talk and say, but I don't have a lump. So there's the lump will manifest mostly with the ductal carcinoma.